So Benevolence Farm was originally created to be a shared housing model. That means people were living in the same house with shared amenities. As we had more and more people come home, part of the feedback we were getting is it's really hard to leave Benevolence Farm when we have both housing and a job covered. And when they were leaving the farm, they didn't have that. So that was one thing that was coming up from our residents. The other was really inspired by a former resident named Deb Ainsworth, who has unfortunately since passed away, but she had served 27 years in prison. And when she got out, she was in her 60s. And she was saying, I've literally never lived alone. I grew up with my family. I had my own family. Then I was in jail. Then I was in prison. Like, I've always been surrounded by people. And so she, at the time, started brainstorming with our former executive director, what would another phase of housing look like at Benevolence Farm? Then we started thinking about we have this land, we have 13 acres, what would housing look like? Would we build another house? Would it have the same model as Graham, or would it have a Burlington model? And then people started talking about the movement about tiny homes. And that's where we pulled together a group of people, like architects, some developers, and the formerly incarcerated people in our program, to think about how we want to use our land. And just what came up was, well, what if we built tiny homes as another phase? So people can practice living alone, but still have a community. And then they would be able to start building up their own materials. So again, having lived in the farmhouse, they wouldn't have had to get pots or pans or a microwave or a mattress. And so they can, instead of having to buy that all at once when they move, they can build it up over time. So what we're doing now is we've received permitting approval from the County of Alamance to build this, and we are in the fundraising process. It's about a $1.2 million project, which is the most ambitious we've ever been with any fundraising effort. And so this would mean that we would double our capacity on the farm while also proving out a model we think is more effective than shared housing.